inviting me, sorry, Dr. Onrizal, for the keynote speech. Okay, so today my topic will be on the recent advance in IoT, edge computing, and some of the application. Okay, I've combined also from these three books, Precisions by Timothy Chu, IoT and Edge Computing for Architects, and Tiny ML. Okay, so this one already introduced. Just want to highlight here that I also have what's called my area of research. One of the area of my research is on IoT. Okay, you can contact me in my email or you can see on the website here. Okay, so as time is limited to 25 minutes, so I don't want to take time of Dr. Oki. Okay, so the next keynote. Okay, so this is the outline of our presentation. I'll focus more on here. So this is the essence of my presentation, which is the IoT frameworks. Okay, we will learn how we can divide or how can we solve the problem like divide and conquer, and we solve it one by one. Okay, from the things, connect, collect, learn, and do. Okay. Then if let's see the current status. So this is from the IoT Developer Survey 2020. So this one just recently released on the middle of October. Okay, so recent new release. Okay, so means that they also take the survey during the pandemic. And then we have the sample application. Let's see the palliative care and precision agriculture. And lastly, maybe on the last 3 minutes, then I will talk about the recent issues for deep thinking. Okay, now let's start from the IoT framework and edge computing. So we start from, I'm taking this from the book. Okay, I'm following the framework proposed by Dr. Timothy Chu. Okay, so this is our IoT framework. Okay, so first we divided into things. The things can be anything. This thing is the hardware and the software. Okay, can be it sensors, computer architecture. So it can be like Intel Atom, can be RISC, can be CICSC, and so on. Okay, including the software. Okay, including the software development, including the OS itself, whether you want to do real-time OS or not, and so on. Okay, and of course, the big one of the main issue in IoT is security, because we have so many things there that's not protected by design. Is not protected. Okay, so that's why one of the Twitter technologies say that we are missing security in IoT, because the IoT there is no S, okay, there's no security, and as well also the packaging. The packaging for industrial application will be different from the home application, for example. Okay, and for example, in industry also you need to have a proper packaging so that it can be implemented in the harsh environment. Okay, the next one is the connect. Okay, because this is Internet of Things, so you need to connect to something. Okay, so this selection of communication technologies based on amount of data that we want to send and to receive, how far it needs to go, okay, and how much power you have. Okay, so this is the three criteria that which technology that you want to select. Okay, Wi-Fi may be applicable for in the small industry and home. Okay, but maybe it's not applicable for like say palm apa perkebunan palm misalnya ya, tadi ya palm oil itu enggak it's not feasible to implement Wi-Fi. Okay, from this then we have so many data, so we collect. The next one is collect framework. This is fundamental way that thing data might be collected, and as we know that the most popular one for so this one will create a big data, because you have the machine data, machine nomic, okay, machine nomic, and you have other nomic. Okay, if you have yeah, implementing in agriculture, you have something called agronomic. Okay, the the condition of the machine itself, and also the parameters that you want to measure, like in agronomic agriculture, for example, you want to measure the leaf, what you call kelembaban leaf. Okay, daun, kelembaban daun, humidity of the leaf, and then you want to measure the temperatures, you want to measure the NPK concentration in the ground, and so on. Okay, so that you can put the fertilizer. Okay, and then from the big data, then we can learn something. Okay, we can learn something from here. Okay, so we can extract something. So if this condition, if the temperature is like this, if the humidity is like this, if the soil concentration is like this, then we'll have an optimum output, for example. Okay, so like maybe in the tomato fields or in the palm field and so on. Okay, So the three types here will be regressions. Okay, regression is the floating point number. So you want to predict something. Okay, and then you have the classification. Okay, classification classify into classes. Okay, so this one will be discrete, and the last one is anomaly detection. So we know that the normal machine, for example, normal machine will have this condition. Okay, several condition. So if you are beyond this condition, then this one will be anomaly. So means that the machine will going to back down, so they can do the preventive maintenance, for example. Okay. And the last one on the last framework is we have do here. So what we can do from the things that we have, the connection and then the collection of the data and then the machine learning or analytics, okay, big data analytics there. So we can improve quality of service. Okay, we can reduce cost of service. Okay, this is for example, like if you have precisions. So if you have precisions, okay, if you have precision, that what will happen, for example, oil change, okay, tukar oli misalnya, tukar oli is not necessary every 3 months, okay, or every 5,000 kilometers, for example. Okay, you change the oil whenever it requires. Okay, whenever it requires. So you have sensors in the machine. Okay, if there is some concentration of some different concentration, then it is time to change the oil. So you reduce the cost of service. Maybe it's not 5,000 kilometer. Maybe you can go beyond, like say 7,000 kilometer, 50% more, and so on. Okay. There's new business model, precision service, rather than you're buying the machine, then you can rent. Okay, rent as a machine as a service. We have software as a service. Now we can have also machine as a service. So there's what you call this, good for the startup. Maybe they can start from the machine as a service, and if they require, then you can purchase the machine. Okay, lower consumer cost and higher quality product of service, and of course improve health of safety. Okay, now let's see the industry example. Of course, from this one, there are many industry has been here, has been there. Okay, there are many industry. If you follow the framework here, there's many industry here. Okay, for things, for example, Intel put there, Sensium Healthcare. There's some company, Libelium, GE, and so on. The connection is the connect. You can have Cisco for the basically the communication telecommunication industry. Okay, and the collect is the database. Okay, the collect is database. Okay, and then the learn is the machine learning that you can use the TensorFlow from Google, for example. You have SAS, Keras, R, MATLAB, and so on. Okay, and do you have the machine as a service from here? Okay, so so again, the IoT framework that we propose here by Timothy Chu, we have things, connect, collect, learn, and do. Now let's see one by one. Okay, so that you can get the feel. If you have some problem, how do you solve it using the IoT? Okay, the first one, okay, this is the IoT. It will grow, okay, exponentially. If you can see here, it will grow exponentially. But 2025, there are more things compared to people. Okay, so things versus people. Okay, there are more things compared to people. So this is the people, around around 8 billions or 7 billions, and then this is the things. Okay, so the things can be anything, can be handphone. At least we'll know that maybe one of us have two handphone at the same time. Okay, so it also contribute to the growth of the things here. Okay, we have smart lamp, we have smart camera, we have smart speaker, and so on. Okay, now let's see the things. Okay, so if you see here, so this is 2018 or 2019 device. So there are many things here. Okay, so the things, as I mentioned earlier, can be sensors. Okay, and the processor or microcontroller. Okay, and don't forget we have the software itself. It can be the OS or the application software. Okay. So, and this is the Internet of Things. Okay, and recently also we have the edge computing. Okay, the edge computing is the you try to distribute the computing task nearer to the sensors, near to the data. Okay, so that if the so you improve on the privacy. Okay, improve on the on availability and so on, because although the internet is down, for example, they still can process something. Okay, so privacy means the data is not go beyond the edge. Okay, so it will improve the privacy, because outside from the home, for example, then we have some hacker, for example, to hack your data and so on. Okay, so there are many examples. So the three examples that I present here: NVIDIA Jetson Nano or Google Color. There are also some form here, PCIe, or you can use M2, you can place in M2 disk, and then USB, and also, of course, the board here, Google Coral board. Okay, and recently Asus also put the Asus Tinkerboard. And don't forget, our handphone also is the things as well. Okay, why is that? Because you have here at least all of the 5 framework here. Okay, the sensor, for example, you have many things. You have video, at least you have microphone, okay, to speak, okay, and then you have gyroscope. What else? You have accelerometer, okay, 3-axis accelerometer. Maybe you have the temperature, you have the GPS, and so on. So there are so many. Okay, you have fingerprint, you have face ID, and so on. So you have many sensors, and you have a software and hardware. Okay, and normally it's connected to the internet as well. Okay, so this is the things. Okay, so not limited to the board here. Okay, so again, how to select the board, it depends on the power that you have, and then the processing computational power that you need. Okay. Okay, now the connect. Okay, so the connect is how to select is based on the three three requirement here: the amount of data, how far it needs to go, and how much power you have. Okay, so you can see here, for example, yeah, this one is almost the same like this. Okay, so for example here, yeah, if you have low data rate, for example, you just send the temperature, humidity every, let's say, 30 minutes. Let's say you have palm field, okay, palm field, okay. The area may be more than 10 kilometers, okay. So it's not feasible to use Wi-Fi, because Wi-Fi is only 100 meters line of sight, okay. So maybe you can use Sigfox. So this is proprietary, or LoRa. Here depends, if you need more data, you need to increase to LoRa and so on. Or you can use at the NB-IoT. So this is paid spectrum, okay, licensed spectrum. So you need to pay, okay, for the subscription. Okay, same like our handphone. And then if short range, then you can use Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. For example, if you are using in the peternakan ayam, atau the small scale agriculture. Okay, and interestingly, on if 5G here, then we have the specification of 5G. So we have here, the most important one is the latency and the data rate. Where's the data? Yeah, the data rate is up to 10 gigabyte. Okay, and for IoT, there's more here, up to 10-year battery life for low power IoT device. Okay, so the example that I put here, maybe we can use the 5G, but of course you need to have a subscription, okay, for the 5G here. Okay, but it's possible to use the 5G, for example, in the driverless car navigation, because the latency is very small. Okay, means that when you have the driverless car, you send the data, even you can send the video of the actual surrounding. Okay, you can send the video, and then you send to the cloud, and then the cloud will decide to do some processing. Okay, because you don't want to bring your high performance computing here, so you just send the data, because the data is up to 10 gigabit per second, means that you can download one DVD in 1 second. Okay, you can download one DVD in 1 second, so it's very fast. Okay, the specification here is very fast. The implementation maybe depends on the so many factors. Okay, but it's promised to have up to 10 gigabits. So if you send the video and within less than a small latency, so within then you can decide, okay, whether you want to go through, turn left, turn right, or stop. Okay, jangan sampai nabrak gitu mobilnya. Okay, so this is the 5G. And the next one is collect. Collect is the on the data. There are 3 types of data. The first one is the SQL, structured query language data, and then no SQL, okay, unstructured data, and then the one that is useful normally is for time series database. Okay, so time series database is just used date, for example, time, and the value, temperature or humidity or three-axis accelerometers or the what you call the concentration of the soil and so on. So you have date time. So you can instruct your IoT to read every 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and so on. Okay, so this is the collect. The next one is machine learning. Of course, this is the what you call the advance of machine learning. So you have recurrent neural network, CNN here. LSTM is on 1996, and then the last one is general adversarial network here on 2015. Okay, so I'll put the introduction a bit later on. Okay, and then as we can see here, related to Industry 4.0, so the IoT is here. Okay, and from IoT also it created some big data, because you can see that things created more data compared to the people. Okay, so for example, within 1 second you can generate many data. Okay, within 1 second you can generate many data. Okay, and of course you need to have cloud computing, and the 5G will be possible if you for the AR, augmented reality. So okay, so the IoT is the what you call one of the foundation for the industry 4.0, as you can see here. Okay. Okay, now let's see what is the current status of the IoT recent report. What is the what you call what is the hot topics that is discussed among developer. So we have 2020 IoT developer survey. So what is the summary? So you can see the first one is the agriculture has emerged as the leading industry focus area. Okay, so this is the agriculture, means that they want to talk about the food sustainability, for example. Okay, as we know now, during the pandemic, they can the things and people, the goods and people cannot move around freely because of the pandemic and the limitation of transportation and so on. So you want to have a sustainable food. Okay, so the ketahanan pangan. Okay, bagaimana kita bisa mengenerate sendiri our own food. Okay. So the top three concern is security. So I put later on the how can we solve this one, and connectivity. Okay, the 5G is not deployed in many countries yet. Even in China, it's not developed yet. Maybe in US and in some of part of the Europe. And data collection and also analytics. So this is database, and this is the machine learning part. Okay, the AI was the most frequently selected edge computing workload. So the AI is helping from the sensors data, then help to decide something. Okay, whether classification, whether regression or anomaly detection. Okay, and privacy is growing concern, and as well as security. Okay, the next summary is the blockchain. Okay, the blockchain have gained momentum as a way to secure IoT solution, because for example, especially if you are doing healthcare. Okay, so if, for example, you are in one person, okay, you are measuring the heart rate for the patient. Okay, heart rate, blood pressure, and temperature. So this is the three most variable that will be measured during the patient care. Okay, so the hacker can hack to the Bluetooth and so on and modify this one. So we want to use the blockchain, okay, so that we can verify if somebody change the data that it will know. So it will upset the distributed ledgers. Okay, so it can track, so that there is some intruder or some modification to the data. Okay, the data is not original anymore. Okay. So the next one is Java is the most widely used programming language. Okay, and the other one is Amazon still, and Microsoft and Google is the top three middleware. Okay, so let's see one by one. The agriculture here increasing. Okay, industrial automation, education, automotive, and smart city. So this is the key industry focus areas. Okay, and it's Linux and free RTOS world. So as you see here, the things is the hardware, including the software. Okay, the software part on the OS. Okay, we have OS and application here. For the OS, we have Linux, and we have the free real-time OS. So you want to make it real-time. Okay, so there's some difference between general purpose OS and the free real-time OS. So the real-time OS need to put some need to adhere to the schedule. Okay, so this one has been used, for example, in the nuclear reactor. Okay, so you want to have the specific action or during the specific time. Okay, so you don't want to miss anything. If you miss, then the nuclear will blow, for example. Okay, and then you have Windows and Zephyr. Okay, the next one, yeah. So this is for edge computing, workload, artificial intelligence, control logics, data exchange, and sensor fusion. Okay, so yeah, this is another for software. So the for edge computing, you can use the container like Docker or native binary or script files. Okay, and then yeah, so the IoT is synonymous with open source. Okay, so uh, okay, then we can see here things as I mentioned earlier can two part hardware and software. The software has we can have the open source OS Linux, for example, and free real-time OS is open source. Okay, the application also maybe can be open source. Database, okay, database also can be open source. Okay, MySQL, PostgreSQL, and so on can be open source. But how about the hardware? Okay, how about the hardware? So we'll touch this one on the last section of my talk, inshallah. Okay, so the top three concerns for IT developers is security, connectivity, and so on. So we'll discuss more on the last part of my talk, also on the security. Okay, this is the top four programming language. Okay, so the IoT on the consent device, normally they want to make it as small as possible and as fast as possible. So you use C. Okay, the IoT gateway you can use Java, and cloud also you can use Java. The other second is Python. Okay. Okay, top connection protocol. Okay, HTTP, MQTT, TCP/IP, and SparkPlug. Okay, so top connection protocol. So they are still, you can see from here they are still using Wi-Fi. Okay, so it means that the cellular, for example, LTE, LoRa is occupying 37%, and the other one is Bluetooth. Okay, but for smart camera, for example, they can use Ethernet because they can deliver the power at the same time. Okay, so power over Ethernet. Okay, so that's why it's popular there. Okay, then you have top security technologies, communication security, and so on. Yeah, see the rest is yeah. So here the database. Okay, so you have MySQL, MongoDB for NoSQL, and PostgreSQL, and the other one is deployment of MySQL. Okay, so the last one, the last part of the survey is on the IoT and the IoT middleware. So dominated by the Amazon, Microsoft, and Google. Okay, so now let's see. Yeah, so I want to see some application. Okay, so this is introduction of machine learning as well as application. So let's see what we have here. Okay, so on 9650 we have artificial intelligence. Okay, on 9080s then we have machine learning. Okay, and then on 2010 we have the deep learning. Okay, so the main characteristic of deep learning is we have many layers. Okay, so you have deep instead of one you have deep layers. Okay, and examples. Yeah. Yeah, not yet. So the machine learning can be divided into two parts: supervised learning and or unsupervised learning. You have classification. So for example, if you have the data here, I write here, okay, like this. Okay, so you can have the classification here because you can classify as group A and group B. Okay, and then you can have also not from this example, regression will have the floating point number, so you predict between 0 and 1. Okay, so you have 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, and so on. Okay, unsupervised learning is like clustering. Okay, yeah, so this is clustering. So you can cluster A and B into two cluster. Okay, first cluster number 1, cluster number 2. So this will be A, and then B here. This is cluster number 2, but it doesn't know that it is A and it is B. Okay, so for that case, then you need the supervised learning. Okay, yeah. So you can see here there are many techniques for classification, regression, and clustering. Okay, so basically you train the data, and then after that you predict with different data. Okay. Okay, the fundamental of the deep learning is starting from the AlexNet. Okay, so that's why I want to discuss a bit more on AlexNet. So on AlexNet, as you can see from here, there are many CNN layers here. Okay, around five CNN layers and 3 fully connected layers. Okay, and then what you call, yeah. So this is developed by Alex. So this is to classify around 1,000 22,000 classes of image. So you have so many image from 50 million high resolution image. Okay, and train using two set. Okay, so for example here, this is trained into one set. Yeah, one set, and another one is another set of GPU. Okay. So from here that we will know that some of the applications of previously we don't have such accuracy, okay, using the traditional neural network or traditional machine learning algorithm. Only when we use the deep learning, then we can have a good accuracy, okay. Okay, so the deep learning has been used for many applications, speech recognition, for example, this Amazon Alexa face detection in the photography, automated driving. Okay, you separate the object here, detecting object, speech recognitions, semantic segmentation, so you can know this is the car and this is the road, for example, signal classification. This is in shell, so you read the analog information here, you convert it into the digital, and then you can predict. Okay, you can use the data, collect the data automatically. Okay, and this is the YOLO, you only looks once, so it try to detect the sign, like a road sign. Okay, there are many neural network application here. Okay, so not always you need to have a big device. Okay, as I mentioned, this is IoT. Okay, so you can implement also in Arduino. So you can see here, Arduino Nano. You can use TensorFlow Lite. Okay, implement in Arduino. Okay, okay. For example, here, yeah. So this is the Pete Warden. He said that if you when you talking to the Google Smart Home, for example, you say, "Okay, Google, what's the weather today?" For example, then the OK Google, it will detect by only 15 kilobytes. Okay. Sorry, my smart clock is responding to my OK Google. Okay, so then what's it called? Only 15 kilobytes. So means that the waking up word is only requires small amount of data. Okay. And this is for my topic that I'm currently working on. So this is the depression detection and emotion prediction. So the idea here is it will help the counselor or the psychiatrist to, and then this is the real-time indicator whether the person is depressed, angry, or something. So it's have the red indicators and so on. So first you will train the models on the PC because training will takes time. Okay, for example, in one application, I have training for 10 hours using my GPU 690, and testing only requires less than 1 second. Okay, maybe in the order of milliseconds. Okay, testing means the inference. Okay, you make inference. Okay, you decide whether this person is depressed or not depressed or mediumly depressed. Okay, so from here, TensorFlow, then you can convert into TensorFlow Lite, then you can implement in the edge computing here. So the edge computing will be put here. You have the microphone, and then this one will indicate to the indicator. Okay, so this one of the application. As we know, during the pandemic here, many people has got stress. Okay. Okay, so there's some other sample application. For example, I mentioned earlier the telemedicine, palliative care. Okay, so yeah, as time limited, so I want to move on. Hold on. So yeah, so you can see from here, this is the IoT part. Okay, the IoT part, you connect to the Bluetooth on the edge computers. Okay, and the data is stay here. So that's why they have privacy. Okay, and there's no need to have the internet connection all the time. Okay, so you can even if there is some apa tuh ada gangguan, ada disturbance, okay, so you are not connected, but still it can work, still it can collect the data, okay, you can save the data, and then when it's connected again, then you can send the data to the cloud, okay. Okay, so this one is implemented in, for example, the old people here. So the idea here is to improve the quality of service. So normally what we have is just like a round robin. So the doctor come here, check the data, or the nurse come here, then go to the next one, go to the next one, go to the next one. So the idea here is just you have the flow of the system. So you have HR sensor, heart rate sensor, blood pressure, and thermal sensor. This is the three most variable that normally taken. Okay, from here then you can predict whether the person need immediate attention or not. Okay, something like code blue. Okay, code blue means if the person needs some immediate attention. Okay, so the doctor not distributed like this. Okay, so every 1 hour then you switch to another home, another home, another home, and the distance may be far. Okay, just if there is something urgent, then the doctor can specifically go to the home. Okay, so this is precision, again the precision. Okay, Of course, here we have later on the person can talk and can hear also the communication. Okay. The other one that is related here that I want to discuss on agriculture. Okay, this is the one of the solution from one of the company, Libeliums. So you have field size, okay, large or small or medium. Okay, crop value, low yield crop for per hectares, and so on. Okay, the sensor recommended is, for example, temperature, humidity, and pressure, and some weather station, so you can predict the weathers. For example, here cereals, corn, coffee, palm. Okay, the small soil parameters, high yield crop. For example, you have fruits, vegetables, and flowers. So you need to have more sensor here: soil moisture, soil morphology, leaf humidity, and soil radiation, for example. Okay, so you want to know, you want to optimize, okay, the environments, okay, so that you have a high yield. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so this is one of the sensor. There are many sensor here. Okay, you can connect to the sensor. Okay, yeah, so yes, so this is the Libelium. The connection you can select here. One of the connection here depends on your needs. Okay, whether the far or not. Okay, so this you can see here they can connect to weather sensor and then connect to the IoT here. Okay, so yeah, so this is I think the weather session. So from here then you can have something called precision agriculture. Okay, so for example, if you are growing tomatoes, you need this certain amount of temperature, certain amount of solar radiation, certain amount of humidity, certain amount of the soil concentration, for example. Then you can put what you call automatic watering, and you can put automatic fertilizer and so on, so that it can grow more efficiently. Okay, so this is another example. Okay. So let me go to the last section of my talk, which is the recent issues for deep thinking. So this is start from the trade war, of course, from between China and US. So is the China-US trade war driving China's science tech independence? So we can see from here how the China survive and excel. Okay, so it starts from the trade deficit, of course, and yeah, so let's see from Huawei. Okay, Huawei is the what you call founded I think in late 1980s. Okay, around 1981. First it do the ATM, amati tiru modifikasi, so copy paste in the password. Okay, so try to copy the networking device, for example, from Cisco and so on. But along the way, they create not only copy paste, but they can excel. So starting from, for example, starting from 2009, okay, the standard of 5G is the flop. Okay, there are two standards for conquer the noise. Okay, so the one of this is the polar code. Okay, the polar code, and the other one's LDPC, I think. Okay, LDPC. So in 2015, then the Huawei has many patents of this one. Okay, so the Turkish scientist, the Professor Arkan. Okay, Arkan here. So he developed the polar code to send the signal whenever you have so many noise. Okay. So there are two standards here, and then Huawei excel. Okay, so that's why I think Trump or the American company is lag behind, because the Huawei has many patents on the 5G. Okay. Okay, and the other things is what if now you have trade war and then you have limited access to the technology. For example, the most one is CPU. Okay, Huawei also has done this one. Okay, I'm not promoting Huawei, but I'm what if Indonesia is being boycott? Okay, so in Indonesia, for example, you cannot have CPU, you cannot have software, you cannot have OS, you cannot have any technology. So how do we survive? Okay, so the Huawei developed their own desktop CPU that is said to be faster than i9. Okay, so 24 core. Okay, this is from the ARM. Okay, and the last one here. So how can we start? If you remember earlier, I put here on the IoT, on the things. Okay, there are hardware and there are software. Okay, on the software you have OS that open source, database that is open source. Okay, even the programming language that is open source. You can use Python, you can use C and so on. Okay, but the hardware part is still new. Okay, there is no open source hardware until 2010, when the RISC-V Foundation is founded. Okay, RISC-V. Okay, so we have RISC-V here, and then the architecture is simple enough. So you can see here on where is it? When is it? I think last month. I think 13-year-old can start the RISC-V design. Okay, so this is I see if you want to have the national technology resilience, ketahanan teknologi nasional, we should start from something. Okay, and one of the thing here is we can learn how to have a RISC-V architecture. Okay, this is based on the RISC compared to the CICSC. Okay, so RISC versus CICSC. Okay, so this Intel, AMD, and so on, and this is RISC ARM. Okay, so this one also RISC-V. Okay, the new one. So RISC-V founded to complement the ARM. So the ARM you can buy also the previously the I put Huawei Kunpeng processors or Apple M1 processors is using the ARM. Okay, the ARM IP, the ARM intellectual technology. Okay, so you have yeah, so and then the RISC-V also is not it said that can beat the Apple M1 and ARM Cortex N9. So this is the recent one, just last 3 days. Okay, 30 of November. Okay, so Apple now have M1, and M1 currently is what you call better compared to the Intel's. Okay, because and have a battery life twice. Okay, so you can see how do we start on the CPU. We can start with the RISC. Okay, and the free one is RISC-V. Okay, and RISC-V is not only used by now it has been used also by Western technologies, not the hard drive companies, and then Nvidia also have used this one on the graphic card. Some of the controller has been replaced. Okay, so there are only 57 instruction, the simple instruction. So you can make it complex or you can make it simple. Okay, depends on your needs. So we can start from here. Okay, and then we can develop our own processor. Okay, and also the software. Okay, so the Chinese also, if they block the Windows, for example, this is 18 March. Okay, they have your unified operating system. So this is based on Deepin Linux. Okay, I've installed this one and it's beautiful. Okay, Deepin Linux is easy to install. Okay, so by 2022, China want to replace all the Windows into this one. Okay, OS Linux. Okay. So again, we need, is there any Indonesian Linux or not? So we need to have start thinking about this OS as well. Okay, and the last one is on the issue of security. Okay, the last one. So this is the almost the last page, inshallah. So the security, the Microsoft says 70% due to memory leak. Okay, and how to solve this one? We have Rust programming language. Okay, so the Rust programming language. So you can see here, this is from Nature, 2002 December. Why scientists are turning to Rust? Okay, because of the safety. Okay, safety. So what you call this? This one will have safe code. Okay, there's no security issue in this one. So you can see here, Rust has been started to use for IoT as well, and also for machine learning with Rust. Okay, so for deep thinking, how can we start as a nation learning about the computer architecture, processor architecture? RISC-V will be starting point, and the operating system itself. Okay, Linux will be a good starting point, so we can, it's freely available, the source code. And the last one is we can use Rust. Okay, for the security improvement. Okay, so as conclusions, yeah, so we have discussed on the IoT frameworks. Okay, things connect, collect, and learn. Okay, and there will be exponential increase of IoT and edge computing in the near futures. Okay, and the IoT and edge computing can be used to help government or individual tackle the COVID-19 pandemic. For example, you can develop using the edge computing mask, whether the person wearing the mask or not. Okay, in real life, or face detection or any other thing. If you can find a good COVID-19 sensors. Okay, then you can connect to the IoT or can connect to edge computing. Okay, to have faster detection. Okay, and beyond, we need to think about the beyond as well. So how can we excel as a nation? Okay, and the last one is national technology resilience is now a necessity. You just think when there's some trade war or some boycott. Okay, we need to do swasembada, or what you call, we need to develop our own technology. Okay, so that's it, Mr. Andy. Thank you very much. So I've stopped my presentation.